Welcome, everybody. My name is Brett Thomas Thomas. I'm here with BPP, and the match is about to start. It is MCAV in blue versus Seven Sins in red, and MCAV have brought my favorite ship in the game, Azamaz, and I'm so excited.
And we're going to see how well that does as both teams actually warped in at 50. So they are very, very far away from each other. Interestingly enough, Seven Sins is running the interesting Bargus comp we've seen twice already. So we'll see if they're better at flying it than Test or not. But I think that their plan was to kite, and they're fighting against Navy Apox, which, as far as I'm aware, can hit almost the entirety of the arena, depending on their position.
Yeah, both teams with the rapid heavies on the Bargus getting a range bonus, and the APOC navies with their long range damage. Both teams can apply a lot of damage long range. An important thing to notice is they have a Zarmazd on the MCAV team, which is going to apply a lot of reps once it spills up. So the unfortunate thing is, if the Bargists try and shoot one of the Navy Apocalypse and try and break that one Navy Apocalypse, it's just going to rep a ridiculous amount and not going to break it. They're going to have to rapidly swap to break it. As I'm saying this, though, it looks like the Bargists' rapid heavies are shooting the Mauluses and the smaller end ships once they get tackled down by the double Raptors, and the Caracals get to apply their rapid light missiles.
It's a very interesting thing. We don't really see Mollis as much in tournament settings because unbonus damps kind of suck. The Raptors that went after those Molluses, one of them has gone down already. So they're. I think that. I don't know if clearing the Molluses. Clearly, they must be having some trouble because they decided to go after both of them. I'm surprised that the damps were doing all that much just because of the range. But now the Bargus are switching onto this Navy Apocalypse. I think we're going to see if the Zarmad's ramp up is able to rep through the rapid heavy launchers, because the thing with the rapid heavies is they will run out, and then we're going to see that this Apocalypse is going to get repped up to full very, very quickly.
Because of the spill bonus. An interesting thing you can do with the Zarmaz is the Zarmaz is only linked to one heavy mutaplasmid rep that only reps one thing, but you can fit your other highs with medium reps. So you do get a bonus to rep power with those medium reps. You've just got a really short range. Seven Sins have done the really great thing of focusing down one APOC, waiting till the Zarmad commits to it, and then immediately swapping to the other. So that Zarmad's going to have to stop and re-ramp up on Dr. Horrible. Hopefully they break it before they hit reload.
I think the big thing to see here is that Zarmad actually never swapped over to the other APOC. So this APOC is repping itself pretty much by itself. It's finally starting to catch now, but I don't think that the pilot was paying enough attention, because I'm not seeing, he needs still a lot of reps on that APOC, and I'm not seeing a whole lot on the full HP APOC. I'm not seeing a lot on the other one yet.
Yeah, it's just landing and it's just starting to spool up, and it looks like the Bargists are now finally starting to hit reload. You're starting to see some of their damage drop as they finally hit reload, but they managed to break the Apocalypse in the last moment. That is huge.
Yeah, they caught it right at the tail end of that, and the Caracal of Seven Sins is tackled, and they're probably going to be able to take it down relatively quickly here. But losing one of their major DPS ships that early, especially in a battleship situation where, honestly, I don't think that had to happen that way. I feel like that the logistics pod on Mouth Trumpet might have been a little bit slow on the uptake, or he might have been a little out of range. And now that there is an Ashmu just getting completely wrecked, very, very squishy ship.
Yeah, an important thing to note with this Armad is, unlike other logistic ships, it doesn't have a full off. It just has 72 kilometers maximum. If you get beyond 72 kilometers, it is like old reps where nothing happens. And if you're within 72 kilometers, you get full reps. So the Zarmaz can sit huge out of position. It can sit 60 kilometers away and be perfectly fine.
But at the same time, it did not have the ability to keep the Ashmu up either. And now Seven Sins is looking at the Heretic, which I believe the Heretic might actually be out of range of the Zarmad. So it's just going to get killed off in a corner somewhere, and there's nothing it's going to be able to do to save itself.
Yeah, especially because these Bargists are going to apply a huge amount of front-loaded damage, but the Caracals are going to apply damage perfectly. It's important to note that the Caracals are just applying damage to both the Dragoon and the Punisher and swapping through, while they're leaving the Bargists to shoot whatever they feel is necessary and to use those heavy newts that their spare high slots allow to just break whatever's there.
He has figured out that he was out of position. So, just for perspective, the Zarmads was about 80 kilometers off the center of the arena, where the tackle ships were kind of up north towards the top of it. So, the Zarmads wasn't able to do anything. He just tried to burn in, and now he's burning back to try and rep up the APOC Navy, who's just getting completely destroyed by this insane amount of DPS coming off the Bargus. And the APOC Navy goes down.
Yeah, unfortunately, my favorite ship to fly on TQ is not a very good ship to fly on TD. In tournament settings, the ability to split your reps is huge, which is why you're seeing a lot of these small ships die while one ship is being repped.
There just really isn't a. I don't know. It just doesn't have the ability to ramp up is super powerful in some situations, but not when you're fighting against a comp that has this much almost instantly applying DPS. All 7 Sins had to do was swap to a different target against Mouth Trumpet Cavalry, and you saw they completely wiped out the NAPOC. They were able to just take the little ships down. It's a really cool, interesting idea for the ship. I think that Zarmads might have a place, but they kind of got countered almost by the ability of these Bargus to just apply to whatever they want and to swap and shoot whatever they want on the entire grid.
Unfortunately for everybody watching, the tournament tool at the moment does not display Zarmaz reps. That is mostly because the tournament tool is kind of old, and as Zarmaz reps were introduced after, which is why you're not seeing any reps on the fancy UI, which unfortunately is magic wizardry and hard to fix.
Yeah, and it's good to know. I realized that about like 3 or 4 minutes in, so it'll be easy to keep an eye on next time. But again, they weren't able to keep it through. All 7 Sins were smart. They swapped targets a bunch, and that is the exact weakness of any of the Triglavian ships, either DPS wise or rep wise.
Yeah, and it looks like the Zom is finally going down. And the important thing to know about the Zom is it is ridiculously tanky. It is the tankiest armor logistics cruiser with 7 lows. It has 4 mids as well, so you can fit dual prop on it. So it's especially tanky and cannot die. It just doesn't rep as much as other things.
And 7 Sins does 100 to 6 MCAV with a very, very powerful performance and just generally pretty solid piloting. It's interesting to see these Bargus doing so well. And we're going to send this back to Elise, Ithaca, and Setonia.